football to Sarri's style of football, which for me are like two polar opposites in terms of blocks. The Conte play with a block, very difficult to break down, happy for the opposition to have the ball, to Sarri, who now wants to completely dominate possession. To change it over in a space of 6 months in a year is so difficult, so difficult. So I think the task for the Chelsea board now is to say, is this the man that we're going to back for the long term? Because if it is, then he needs, for me, David Luiz is a liability in the back four in terms of the way he defends his positioning. Marcos Alonso, for me, is an out-and-out wing-back. He doesn't like to play in a four, and he got isolated on the first goal today in transition on Herrera's goal from Rashford going in between. It was always the space in between him and David Luiz that's a problem in the back four. So what happened with Pep Guardiola when he went in at Man City?
Exactly.
He gets backed with the players that he wants to fit his way of playing. Now, for all of the talk about Kante playing as a defensive midfield player, Kante is a fluid defensive midfield player. He's not a fixed. At Manchester City, Fernandinho won't move. He's a fixed pivot in Manchester City's team for the structure of them in possession. Kante doesn't do that for teams. Kante is the best defensive midfield player in the world.
For me, he needs to sit there instead of Jorginho, or sit both of them in there at the same time. Because if you're playing David Luiz, as you said, I'm with you with David Luiz. I don't think he's good enough in a four. So then I've got to put two players in front then.
Exactly.
And then put them two, and then have 5 or 4 players.
That's the question that Sarri needs to come up with. But what I'm saying, sorry, Emma, what I'm saying in terms of the way that Sarri wants to play is very similar to Guardiola. And the key function, when Fernandinho was out of the team at Manchester City, became very difficult for Manchester City this season. That fixed pivot who can get on the ball and make passes and dictate, that's the way he wants to play, and that's why Kante's not playing there. So Sarri now either has to adapt his way of playing to fit the fact that, Kante for me is absolutely unbelievable for one of the best midfield players in the world, but how do you fit the both of them in the side? That's the difficult thing for him at the moment.
Well, that's part of the learning curve he's going to have to go through, because we had talked about a Chelsea team that large part over the last couple of years have been successful with 3 at the back through Conte era and wing-backs, and now being pushed into full-back spaces. That means that wide players who might have been 2 10s before are now 7 and 11s. That means they have to defend. And with that comes responsibility. And as you know, in teams, that you've got to have that balance. And is the balance there right now between attack and defence? Obviously not, because there's goals being conceded on a regular basis. But teams are exploiting the spaces that weren't as prevalent when you play 3 at the back or a back 5, and there's an adjustment that comes with that. And I know that having played different systems, I had a team that played 3 at the back for 18 months and changed to 4 at the back, and all of a sudden those spaces that you covered, you have to think about covering them differently. So there's some tactical challenges that aren't always easily solved. Then you've got cultural challenges that come with that, and moving pieces around to perhaps